Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. The birthdays and anniversaries list for the week. Rotarian Parameshwar celebrated his birthday on 22nd October. Dr. Sandhya, again on October 22nd. Rotarian Muthukumaran on October 23rd. Bharat Doshi on October 25th. Rotarian Murari, again on 25th of October. Anyone in the Zoom? Any of these Rotarians in the Zoom? No? Okay. Then, and Vasundhara, wife of Rotarian Jagdish Babu, has celebrated birthday on 24th of October. Jagdish, are you on Zoom? No? Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, good. Take it. Then comes the birthdays of the Annets of our club. Annette Madhavan, son of Rotarian Neelakantan, on October 21st. Annette Pravan, son of Ravichandran GP, on October 24th. Advait Krishnamurthy, Annette. Advait is son of Suresh Krishnamurthy, on October 24th. Sumedha Medali. Suresh. Already he has paid. He has paid. Good, good, Suresh. Yeah. 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 Just collect your gift alone. Yeah. Suresh.
Here's a gift for both your children. Thank you.
Annette Sumedha, daughter of Rotarian Bala Muralidhar, on October 25th. Annette Deepthi, daughter of Rotarian Krishna Prasad, on October 25th. Annette Megha, daughter of Rotarian Rajesh Sundrani. I could see him, please, yeah. Celebrated on October 25th. At least one person, like 9%.
Rajesh has announced 1,000 rupees for sanction. You can give it to Nipa or the secretary.
Thanks, Rajesh. Annette Preeti, daughter of Rotarian Sridhar, on October 25th. Again, Annette Shashank, son of Rotarian Ramamurthy, on October 26th. Next comes the anniversary list, like Rotarian Ganesh Ram and Bhuneshwari celebrate wedding anniversary on October 22nd, and Rotarian Madhavan and Sridevi on October 26th. Wishing everybody a fabulous and fantastic year. We just want, I think, Chairman is Balaji Srinivas, no? For the any voluntary disclosure? I don't think. Okay. Balaji Srinivasan is the chairman for the Sunshine this year. Kindly give a fabulous sunshine and make the kitty for the year bigger and better. Thank you. Oh.
Our anniversary.
Wow. Good, good. Perissa.
Wish you a very, very happy wedding anniversary.
Please,
Guest.
yeah.
Here is a small
Yes, yes, yes. It will be a fabulous year, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Open it because this is being done by our own Rotarian Ramesh Kannan, who is sitting here
Wow.
in front of us. So he is giving me a sign there. Open it, Srini. Open it, Srini. Yeah.
Such a lovely one.
Thank you so much. Thank God I announced.
Thank you very much.
Do a retake. This is indeed sunshine at 7:10.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Sujata. So we now go on to some project announcements. May I request Rotarian Somya, Director Health Services, to come and announce about RCME's completed project in the last 1 week.
I'll start with the community service development announcements. Project Vidyadan, Kamala Rajgopalan Scholarship. Rotary Club of Madras East has organized a scholarship for 5 deserving girl children from Lady Sivaswamy Iyer Girls School, Mylapore. A scholarship of 44,200 has been sponsored by Mrs. Ramya and Mr. Hari Naren. Mrs. Ramya is an Annette, daughter of Rotarian, past president, Rotarian Venkatadri. This scholarship will fund the school fees of 5 girl children who are doing their 12th standard. Moving on to vocational services, Rotary Club of Madras East, in partnership with SyncoServe and ENS Software, inaugurated the Tally GSTAA training program yesterday in the presence of our chief guest D. Ravichandran, Tally Head GVLA South. 22 students have registered and more registrations are coming in. The third batch of N Shakti painting program will commence today with 12 women students. Then the Greater Chennai Corporation Community College has achieved a milestone again this year. The IMA Paramedical Board Examinations 2020-2021. The Diploma and Lab Technician course, the students have secured state ranks 2 and 3 among 750 students throughout Tamil Nadu. The institute also received the Best Institute Performance Award for the academic year 2020-2021 by IMA Tamil Nadu State Branch. For health, it is what Srini Rao said. We completed the Terrafox run this week. We had a valedictory on Sunday at YMCA Nandanam. It was very well attended. We had also 100 children run in YMCA, and they were told about cancer and preventive, how it is preventable and how it's important to create awareness and it's curable. It was a great function. The District Governor Rotarian Sridhar was our chief guest. We also had breakfast afterwards and coffee sponsored by our own Rotarian Leo Srini. So it was a very good event. Post that, we also had a polio awareness campaign by 50 Rotarians there at YMCA Nandanam. That's it from us.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Somya. For the upcoming Diwali Fellowship, I request Rotarian Rajesh Sundrani to make an announcement. He's from the host side here.
I'd like to invite the other hosts also who are here. The PLC is here. Please come. Good evening, friends. We're all very excited and looking forward to inviting all of you all for the Diwali Fellowship coming up on Sunday, October 31st. It's lunch, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we have lined up a series of programs and entertainment for all of you all. We have live music by Jayalakshmi Rajagopalan. We have a ramp up also. And besides that, we have a lot of other exciting surprises which you will come to know when you are there. Please be there in large numbers, and please accept this as a personal invitation from all the hosts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. RCME's fellowship is definitely one of the best, and no member would like to, miss it. So we expect good attendance on Sunday afternoon for the Diwali. Thank you so much, you and the host. So now we go into the most important part of the evening, which is the chief guest address. May I request Anit Srisha to come and introduce our chief guest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, President Srini Uncle, for giving me this opportunity to introduce my favorite star, Janaki Sabesh. Stories are Janaki Sabesh's passion, performing, writing, living them. A graduate in political science from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi, with a master's in mass communications from Jamia Millia Islamia University, Delhi, she has more than 20 years of experience in the media and communication space. Janaki began her career telling stories on screen through documentaries, teleserials, corporate films, and advertisements, assisting directors like Rajiv Mehrotra, Simi Garewal, Sridhar Kishir Sagar, P. Jayendra, and P.C. Sriram. An accomplished actor, her body of work spans films across all South Indian languages and several modeling assignments. She has worked with stalwarts like Aishwarya Rai, Kamal Haasan, Madhavan, Mani Ratnam, Rajiv Menon, and Shankar, among others. Janaki has brought many a character to life on screen as a successful voiceover artist for cartoons. She has also lent her voice for commercials and documentaries. She has also worked on a Spotify original podcast series, Talking Tales from Tulika. She has performed in several lit festivals, including Bangalore Lit Fest, Bukharu Lit Fest in Kohima, Delhi, Varanasi, the Hindu Lit Fest, Ooty Lit Fest, Vizag Junior Lit Fest, Kitabo Lit Fest in Jodhpur, Disha Lit Fest in Kanpur, just to name a few. Her engagement with children began in 1995 when she produced an audio cassette, The Learning Train, that simplified the world of numbers through stories and songs. She founded her storytelling initiative, Golpo Tales Unlimited, in 2014. Golpo, meaning story in Bengali, aimed at taking stories and storytelling to children and adults. A simple question from a child during one of her sessions prompted her to write her first picture book, The Jungle Storytelling Festival, published by Tulika Books, available in 9 languages. Her second picture book, which she has co-authored with her daughter, will be releasing later this year. Janaki Sabesh believes a story told from the heart will always win more hearts. Friends, presenting to you Janaki Sabesh. Ma'am, we can't wait to listen to your stories this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isha. And over to our chief guest for her address.
Yeah, I have a story about the Door Creek also, but I'll save it for later. So thank you so much, President Srini, yes, and Shanta Kumar and Soumya, who's not here. I think she made the first call to me. Yeah, she's on Zoom. Hi. Thank you so much for making me a part of your evening, while we all know that you would have other choices, other options to spend your evening. And I was wondering what I should be talking to you about. I mean, storytelling is now something that almost every other person, everybody in this room is a storyteller. So, I mean, let's not make a mistake there. All of us are storytellers. But then what is it about storytelling? So I decided that maybe I should talk about stories that shape us, or stories we tell ourselves. So when I start thinking about it, I'll have to break into a song. I'll give you a little bit of, pause. मैं क्या जानूं क्या जादू है जादू है जादू है इन दो मत वाले नैनों में जादू है एक एक अदा सागर सा है एक अदा सागर सा है इन दो मत वाले नैनों में जादू है जादू है जादू है. This is a very old song from a film called thank you, Zindagi, 1940, in the unmistakably amazing voice of K.L. Sehgal. But then why am I singing this song? Because I'll have to rewind to my childhood and picture this beautiful winter morning in Delhi, where the temperature is about 6, and my sister and I, my sister is younger to me, my sister and I, we have to go to school, and we are completely under the razai, the quilt, and my mother has already come and said, Kanna, Indra, get up, it's time for you, the school bus will be coming, and we've like 2 minutes, which happens in every household. But then suddenly, after about multiple trips to the bedroom and we not waking up, my father comes and he says, "Main kya janu kya jadoo hai." And imagine, we're already shivering under the, we don't want to get, and we have to say, "Appa, stop." And he will not stop till we get up and, go to the washroom and brush our teeth. He will just not stop. He will continue. I mean, that, ladies and gentlemen, was my father. A father who thought out of the box, and he was the most amazing storyteller. I say was because he moved on in 2008. And he would just explain to us even the tiniest of incident in so much of, action, emotion, drama. That is almost as if he wrote a script and, gave it to us. A simple thing like going to, we were in Delhi, he was with a publisher. He would, Amma would give him a little lunch box, with some parathas and some sabzi, but he would come back and he would come and say, Sarasa, that was my mother's name, come, come, come. And we would all gather to the center table and he would open the tiffin box and there would be jalebis, you know, the hot, hot jalebis that you get. It was one of those shops just below Appa's office. So he would then talk about how he stood there after he washed, because it was a big thing that Appa washing his lunchbox, you know, and telling Ammas that, see, I got this all for you. A simple jalebi. I mean, that is how I was brought up. So how could I not become a storyteller and embrace stories? And my mother, who was this amazing angel of a listener, she would just listen and she would say, oh, and give those oohs and ahs at the right time so that, you know, it kind of, you know, for every storyteller, I need this room to, you know, I mean, I see a little bit nod here. I mean, that you know, that makes me feel that, okay, you're invested in my story and you're listening to me. So that kind of storytelling was what we were brought up in. And right from my birth to, you know, today in Chennai, we moved cities. So I was brought up in Kolkata, and which is why my initiative is called Golpo Tales. Golpo meaning story in Bengali. And in Calcutta, in the by lanes, we used to have something called puchka. Puchka is nothing but a pani puri. So that puchka, that, you know, that whole thing of, you know, putting it in, there's no, I mean, forget corona, there was no virus only that time. We could have anything on the road. I mean, even today, I think our immunity system is built because we can have street food from wherever. So we would have that puchka, and then 11 years later when we moved on to Delhi, the puchka became Golgappa. And Golgappa, so you go to Lajpat Nagar, then you meet your friends, you have, you know, a little, you start telling stories about puchka to your new set of friends, you know, so you try and figure out, oh, okay, this is what puchka means, but you know, this is what they used to put, and have you had jhalmuri? And then slowly that Golgappa after marriage became Pani Puri for me in Bombay. And then I'd rather not tell you what it is called in Chennai because it's Pani Puri or whatever, you know, but but it is all there. Everything is there, but it is the same little round crispy made of maida and some sont and some spicy, you know, imli ka pani, which goes. But the story that we tell ourselves that I loved puchka, and then I loved, it's called adapting, right? Like how each of us have adapted to this amazing thing called corona, which has, you know, held us captive in our own homes. And today we are on a hybrid. I'm also talking to a camera. I'm also talking to live audience here. And we are okay with it. And that's because of the human mind. And what was the story we told ourselves? That it's okay. We don't have a choice. So everybody made these tiny adjustments. So I had to ask my daughter, can you give me a little bit of your room? I'd like to set up a little studio. Then you invest on a ring light, which some of you might have done. You invest on a tripod. And then you try talking to the camera as if there are people. There are hundreds of children. So my storytelling journey completely took a very, very different turn when the pandemic struck. But then that is the story I was telling myself, that it's okay to adapt. It's okay to do everything. So I think the first story I learned was, you know, think out of the box. Think of how you would, right from that K.L. Sehgal song, which, you know, even to this day, we all listen at home. I have to listen to something called Sangeet Sarita, which I don't know how many of you listen to. There is only one or two. It's all online now. So Vivid Bharati, and I have to listen to Bhule Bisre Geet because that is childhood memories for me. And I love listening to all those old Hindi songs because your childhood memories are connected with it. So those are the stories we tell ourselves, and we feel very at home, whichever part of the world you are. And now, I mean, you don't need a Saregama Caravan, you don't need anything, you just need a good internet connection and maybe your phone, and voila, you can hear anything and everything. So then what happened in Chennai? So Chennai, I moved in, I think, 1993 when my daughter was about 6 months old, and I just didn't like anything about Chennai because my daughter fell sick and we were going from, one doctor to the other. And I wondered, why am I? In fact, I told my husband, you stay here. I'll go back to Bombay. I'm very, very happy being there. And mind you, I just spent about 2.5 years there because that city taught me the value of time. You miss the 9:07 train to from Kurla to VT, you take the 9:09 because the 9:09 train will come. Then, or you then take the 9:15 wala train because it will come, and it will, give you that whole. I used to work for Simi Garewal, and my working hours were 12 in the afternoon to 10 in the night. So when I came back, all the way from VT, for people who know Bombay, from VT to Chembur, I was in this ladies' coupe. Some of them was Jai Jai Ram, Krishna Hare Jai Jai Ram. They were bhajan mandali, and they were cutting bhindi, ladies' finger, because they had a little potli of just 250 grams of lady's finger. They were getting ready for next day morning lunch. How beautiful is that? What were the stories? It's like multitasking. You can, you can't. It's a myth that we can multitask, but I don't think we can really multitask. But yeah, washing dishes and listening to Vivid Bharati, all that we can do. But there are certain things I think we should stay away from multitasking. But, having been in a culture like that, suddenly coming to Chennai, 93, all shops will close by 8 p.m. for all those who are Chennaiites and Madras. And I was like, where are we? But then this city has this charm, as I was telling you, to just grow on you. It just grew on me, and suddenly I was asked by Rajiv Menon, the A cinematographer and director, hey, would you like to model for me? And I was like, what? Model? I said, yeah, I don't mind. And then my biggest cheerleader is my ate, my mother-in-law. And she said, of course you have to model. Go. And I did a modeling assignment, and then one day Rajiv Menon calls me and he said, can you come to AVM studio? I said, yeah, I will. But what's happening? He said, come now. So I went. And on those days, I used to wear an even bigger bindi. And as I walked into his chamber, he said, can you remove your bindi? I said, what? He said, can you remove your bindi? I removed it. And he said, on a Kanika Strinde role, meaning give her the role of the nun. He was making a movie of Minsara Kanavu. And there I got landed with my first role as a nun. No makeup, nothing. And I said, listen, Rajiv, I can't. I have a 3-year-old. He said, bring her along. I said, no, what? During a shot, who will I leave her with? Bring your mother-in-law along. So I just went on a picnic. And nicely did some 2-3 lines, sang one song which was out of tune, by the way. That's it. And I came back, and it was like one joke. It was just a picnic. And then when the film released, you should see my daughter's face, like, there's one mummy there, and this mummy here, that kind of. And then I got my second role, which was in Jeans, and I really thought it was a prank call. In those days, no cell phone, it was a landline call. Director Shankar would like to. I said, what? Who Director Shankar? I didn't know. And then I took my husband, I said, I think it's a prank call, you come with me somewhere in T Nagar. And then I said, sir, but I think I might just look young. He says, I want to tell people that mothers are all young. They don't have to have wrinkle under their faces. They don't have to have grey hair. You can look like sisters. And that's how I landed. I was so raw. So it's not that I had learned film schooling or something. I did film, but I learned film direction, not acting. Though we had done, you live in a gated community, you do all this annual drama and things like that. But then I realized that whatever my father had told me in my childhood, that just go and experience. For all competitions, he used to send me for debating, for drama, elocution, everything. He says, don't worry about the prize. So there was no pressure of winning a prize. If I win a prize, okay, advantage. But then it was that push that he gave me at that time. So that was my second learning, that never say no to opportunities. So when you keep doing that, you start embracing more and more stories. And that's how I landed myself with a corporate job, 5 years as an assistant director to Mr. Jayendra and PC Sriram. And one day I said, I'm getting bored. He said, no problem, join my other company. And I was like, what? He says, yeah, you can be heading audio division of ours. And I was very angry. I said, I'm such a creative person. You're asking me to sell studio time and all. He said, well, the job can get as creative as you want it to be. So I said, okay. I took on that, and then in that company, I think they knew my this 5-year getting bored stuff. So every 5 years, I was given a new portfolio. So they kept adding on, and then I became the regional head, and then the business head, and then I had a huge team under me. And that's when I realized how much stories have shaped the corporate life, which is what everybody is talking about, corporate. It's nothing. It's basically communication. It's communicating with your team, with, I think there's a friend of my boss here, ex-boss. So my CEO would call me and he'd say, Janaki, can you come up? Now, I was on the first floor. He was on the third floor. And between the first floor and the third floor, my mind would be like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Did I send him a wrong email? What was it? Or did I say anything to some other client? And when I went there, it would just be some friend, some known person who said that, oh, hey, I know Janaki. And, you know Janaki? She's there. She works in our team and blah, blah, blah. So this entire stress that you take between the first floor to the third floor is all the negative stories that we tell ourselves. It's like the email, during pandemic, we are all been working from home. You send an email to your boss and he doesn't reply. You wait for that regular 2 hours, 4 hours. That night you don't sleep. 24 hours. Maybe he missed it. But your mind is constantly saying, did I do something wrong? Maybe I didn't mention it properly. You go back and check your sent item. You go back and forth. These are the kind of negative chatter that is there in our mind, which is constantly bugging us. So corporate storytelling, what I did was, I was just very transparent with my team. So every time I used to travel the length and breadth of India, because I was handling all of South and West Bengal, because I opened up the market and I was very proud of it, because my director said, I don't think you can do anything. So I took that as a challenge, and I speak Bengali. So, every time I found that the moment you are very transparent and you're very truthful, the client is really, really happy. So the corporate storytelling was all about, I didn't realize at that time that it was corporate storytelling. It's only you connect the dots only backwards, right? When you think back, that is when I realized, my God, simple thing like, I met the client because I was the face of the marketing, the sales. So I was going and the team wasn't. So when I came back with stories that the client loved, something that you did, or, I give a little, a negative feedback of the client, but with, saying I push the positive first and then say that he didn't like our delivery timelines, he wanted it to be a little, and then tell them that constantly we needed to be on call because we were in the cinema industry. We were rolling out digital cinema, and for the first time in India. So Cube, as we call ourselves, Cube was, everybody said we can't see anything tangible. So you had to sell a service which they can't even see. You had to sell a product which you could see as a demo, but how? The passion. And unless and until you believe in the product, it's not going to, convince them. So every single step of mine was, again there, thinking out of the box, saying, all right, let's do this. And suddenly I will say, can we have a round table meeting? We were all sitting in those chairs, with wheels. So all of them would come and we would all just sit around and we would have a round table meeting then and there. So, and then I'll say, Kada Solatuma, shall I tell you a story? And they'll all know that it was a true story and they believed in me. So every time I told them a story, I told them what was happening, I made connections. I built bridges, right from my commercial team to my finance team, to the people who were packing materials and sending it to clients, to people who just needed to give data. to my clients. So I think that is where storytelling becomes very, very important. So storytelling is nothing but building bridges, making those little communication strides, and telling people what you feel. So it's not something, it's not rocket science. All of us do it, but we don't realize it as storytelling, because as somebody said, the universe is not made of atoms, it's actually made of stories. But then if we are talking about stories, what is it that makes it very important? It makes very important that you share the stories. It's not just enough to live those stories. Each one of you sitting in this room has multiple stories, but how many stories do you share? So I would like to, I still have about 5 minutes, 10 minutes? 10 minutes? Yeah, okay. So if I have to pinpoint just one specific point about storytelling, it's not about telling the story. I said it's about sharing. It's also about listening. How, I think, if it is your CEO, I used to go and start telling my CEO a whole lot of things, or my directors, and if they had the laptop open, I would request them to shut the laptop, because I wanted undivided attention. Because just as your time is important, my time is equally important. So I said this, and if I would ramble, my CEO would say, net enna solla vara. Which is something that I think all of us have heard, either from our children or from our husband, because we just, for one little thing, we go all around, If it's happening in Mylapore, we will start from Ambattur, and then by the time we come to Mylapore, we ourselves have forgotten what we started saying, So net enna solla vara was something that I picked up, and I said, okay, net enna solla vara every time, but I still make the mistake, okay? I still ramble. I just love speaking, so I have not yet learned the art of net enna solla vara, but the listening bit is something. When you go home, Google the Chinese interpretation, graphic interpretation of Ting, T-I-N-G, which is to listen, which is, they have a nice graphic interpretation. It is not only do you listen with your ears, but you also listen with your eyes, you also listen with undivided attention, and you also listen with your heart. So how many of us actually do it, especially during this time and age where everything is like this? You don't have time to see an IGTV video. We were just discussing reels, 30 seconds to 1 minute. That's all that we have time space for. Nobody has. So this net enna solla vara is very, I think that is what Instagram heard and said, okay, I'll comprise it into 1 minute. So actually, I think she was asking me about something that happened on the sets, which was also empathy and storytelling. So I think I'll just make a mention. I did a movie called Poovellam Unvasam. Okay, I acted as Ajit's mother, and Jyotika was the heroine. And it was like Hum Aapke Kaun, there were 2 bungalows in the same thing, and the families, and then of course something happens. Typical, beginning, middle, end, conflict resolution, all that happened. So it was always a dream for me to do, at least be a part of one dance sequence, and my dream came true. And the director Ariel said, ma'am, you're going to be part of this big family Jing Bang song. So everything was there. It was a hall like this, 100, 200 people. And Sukumari, late Sukumari, who was an amazing actress, Sukumari Chechi as we call her, she was there. She was acting as my mother-in-law, and she was there. And suddenly she saw me and she said, Janaki, you seem to be a little tense. Any problem? So I said, ma'am, I've never danced before, though I want to be a part. But if I sing the song, my body doesn't move. And how do I do this, in tandem? How do I sing the song and make the body move? She says, where is the camera? I said, it's there. She says, where is the camera going to even catch your lip movement? So I said, then how do I shake? She said, all you have to do is munnala pinnala, munnala pinnala, munnala pinnala. So when the dance master said 1, 2, all I did was munnala pinnala, munnala pinnala. This anyway, So that was something that. So if you want, I'm wearing a yellow sari in this song. This is that song. So I you know, it's part of my stand-up comedy also, because it is true, you know, doing this Munnala Pinnal. All it did was thinking out of the box. This is going to become the theme here also. All right, please give me copyright. No, but it is, no, see, it's just that it's sharing of, you will never know when I'm, you know, it comes in like, goes in a jiffy, except that I'm wearing this really nice, bright yellow sari with green border, so you can't miss me. So, you know, when there are people who've said, ma'am, is this the song? You know, I share it with my students and all, and I said, yes, yes, and it is so funny because really, I mean, what was I thinking? That the camera was going to be on my face when there is Jyotika and when there is Ajit? I mean, but you know, your sense of importance, but I didn't value myself down. I was important and I wanted to do a good job. But then you need to ask. You need to ask. And thankfully, Sukumari Chechi asked me, and it was really a fun thing to do. So it's all about sharing stories. And it is like Maya Angelou said, and I'd love to quote this, that people will forget what you did. People will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So stories has that beautiful connection which makes someone be a part of your story, of your narrative, because all of us are living narratives here. Each one of us has a unique story, and unless and until we share that story, because when you share your story, it might just help somebody else who's going through a really tough phase. And unless you say, no, my story is not worth it. No, each one of our stories is worth. So I'll just end with a cutie little story. It was a village, you know, where there is Parvati, who was getting married to Kamban. And everybody, she was a school teacher, and everybody was giving her gifts. And there was this one old lady who came and said, Parvati, Parvati, I don't have anything to give you, but I can share one story and a song, but promise you will share it. She says, oh, I love stories, I love listening. And Tai, as they all called her, shared her story and sang the song. It was beautiful. And next day morning, of course, Parvati got married, and she settled and she became a teacher in Kamban, her husband's village. Now, this was the time when, you know, they say in villages in Tamil Nadu that when you put off the flames, there was no electricity, flames in your home, the flames would travel to the village temple to gossip about what happened in each one of their homes. So it happened that Parvati got a lot of gifts, Kamban got a lot of gifts, and the most prized possession of Kamban was a betel nut crusher and a carved wooden box. And it was so beautiful. He used to keep his vetala, chunamba, supari, and he used to cut the supari with his betel nut crusher. And after Parvati cooked, he would eat this pan, and life was all good. But Parvati completely forgot about the story and the song. And the story and the song who were inside were getting very angry. I am a story I want to be told before I grow weary and old. I am a song I want to be sung while I am still lively and young. We are a story and a song. We want to scream and shout. We want to get out. And one day when she was frying some chilies for Molagapuri, she sneezed. The first sneeze came out story. The second sneeze came out the song. Now the spirits have to take on a materialistic avatar when they are out. So one became the betel nut crusher and the other one became the box. And they decided to teach Parvati a lesson, and they went out. They just flew out. Now Kamban comes back, he's had a bad day, and he says, after eating, he says, where is my betel nut crusher? Where is it? It's very angry with Parvati. She says, I haven't seen, I really don't know where it is. He gets angry, and when men sulk in village, they go to the village temple. So he goes to the village temple, and suddenly, as the night becomes thicker and thicker, he hears sounds. and he sees that all the flames have gathered and are gossip him. And then this flame comes and says, you won't believe what happened in my house. There is the spirit of the story and the song, and they took the form of the beetle nut crusher, and he said, oh my God, this is the flame from my house. And he said, I felt terrible, and he went back to Parvati and he said, please share the story and please share the song. And she obviously opened her mouth, but then they were no longer with her. And she said, I'm so sorry, and then she cried herself to sleep. But the flames, they decided to go and convince the story and the song that this is not the right way to behave. So imagine all the flames gathered. It was like Diwali. All the flames went from one end to the other end, and then they saw this story and song hiding very close to Parvati's house, and they convinced, and they agreed. So that night, because Parvati had cried herself to sleep, she was breathing heavily. So with one breathe, in went the story, another one, in went the song, and next day morning, Kamban said, can you please try again? And when she opened her mouth, the story came out, and then the song, and she was so happy, and Kamban and everybody else, in fact, the milkman who had come to give the milk, the peacock, the birds, everybody was in rapt attention listening to the story and song. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have a story and a song, please share it. Otherwise, you don't know what form they might take, So it's very important to share those stories. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience.
Thank you so much, Janaki. See, as I told you in my welcome address that most of us are entrepreneurs. Some of us are senior executives in corporates. So we do our pitch of products and services, right? We are all in the business of selling or providing service. But I'm not sure whether we give stories to our clients, but we do very serious pitch. But from today's speech, I think if that is converted as a story, we may be able to sell our services much.
So I'm sure all of you know that Amazon has banned PPT. There's no PPT in Amazon. So what they do is they're given these whatever cards or the documents just before the conference, and they just have to read it out, and then read it like you do an examination. So it is said that one of the managers, when the CEO walked in, the manager was presenting the slides. He went and sat opposite. I mean, you're supposed to sit opposite, right? He sat next to the manager, and the manager was standing, and he said, "Sir, you're supposed to go there." He says, "I'm not interested in the slides. I'm interested in you and the story you tell me." Lovely. So people will forget all the financial data. People will forget all your Excel sheets and all those green color graphs and histograms. But if you tell them a story about your product, you can thank me later, they will remember.
Lovely. So, taking the example of Rotary, we do service projects, as I told you. Some of them worth few lakhs, some of them worth few crores. And for most of these projects, we need funding. We go to corporates and beg for money. So I've told my team that for every project, you need to have a story. Otherwise, you can't sell. And we have the fundraising chairman, Sujita, sitting here, and we have other board members sitting here. So this year, we made a story for every project what we do, whether it is healthcare project or Ishala community service project. And we've been successful so far, but the money has not come, and let's wait and see. I'm sure we are all confident it will come. Yeah. Yeah. No, initially it was all PPTs, but then we went the Amazon way. We said no, we should have stories, and we started. Okay, now let's go to the Q&A. Any questions from members? Srisha, can you pass on the mic to?
Just curious, to be really effective, does a story have to be true or at least rooted in the truth?
Even if it is not rooted in the truth, when you tell the story, you need to be upfront about it to the client. So it could be something, that you read somewhere, or it had happened to your colleague of yours, and you say, I'm going to share something, and at the end, when you know that your client or whoever you're telling the story has completely bought into the sentiment of that story, you say that thank you so much, but the credit goes to that person, because then the authenticity of you, even admiration for you, will grow even higher.
So how true is Parvati and Kamban's story?
Yes, I must thank, it's a folk tale. It's a folk tale from Tamil Nadu, but I must thank Karadi Tales, with whom I collaborate a lot. It has come in the form of a picture book. And for me, it's the most favorite because I not only share it with children, but also adults. Like, and it's never failed to make that point about sharing. And it is, I forget who it's written by, my memory fails, but it's published by Karadi Tales. But it is a folk tale. You can find it in various forms.
It's not a question. I just want to say, with respect to the yeah. So this is with respect to the story. Yeah. With respect to the story, what you shared, like, the flames. Now I wonder why my granny told me, whenever you put off the flame, take a flower.
Correct.
And put it off. No flame should get out of that lamp, like,
Amazing.
Could be.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because that's what we all do. Or you also put milk, right?
Yeah. So
you
that
put milk, and I wouldn't know the significance of the milk, but this makes a lot of sense.
so no flame is out, so no story is out of the house now.
But please share it with your
We will.
immediate family.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, thanks.
Well, imagination is the mother of invention, no? I mean, you can just take it anywhere. I mean, 100 times you'll have so many stories. I don't have to tell. Huh? But, that's okay. That's okay. The father is here, no? So it's okay. We come up with some amazing stories, but you say it with a straight face and you make it sound very, very authentic. But then the mother might just be able to see through that. But then if you're authentic, sometimes it just clicks. Yes.
Can you share that story on door creaking? Yeah, the door creaking story.
Oh, okay. So did you notice that the door creak had a very strange sound, like the drilling of a machine? One of those typical. So we live in a flat, and the flat below us has been purchased by somebody else. I think they have lots of money. Completely redid the house from scratch. So they started before pandemic. So I think February. I don't know if he's here. I'm sorry. If he's here, sorry. February they started, and till date they're going. So every time I have to record. See, now all storytellers, we have to record, and then we have to smile thinking it's all your iPad. Or sometimes the back camera means you can't even see yourself. You're just saying, you're just imagining. And I would sit down. Grrr. So this was like, what? I'm standing here, and that sound has followed me to Crown Plaza. So it was too eerie for me. Yeah. So it was like, hello, why is it following me to here, Because I was wondering, what are they doing? Every nut and bolt. I mean, I even asked my husband, I hope the foundation is strong and, suddenly we just don't collapse. So he said, no, that is all strong. But it is because in the pandemic, when you're working from home, I completely agree. They also. So I had to go, and they wondered what I was doing. And sometimes I would go in costume, You're dressed up as something. So that guy got completely berserk. Pandrema. It was like that, I said, konja neram, dayavu seythu neenga saaptittu vaanga, tea kudinga. I was in fact ready to give them chai, as long as you don't do the drilling machine business. So that is. Oh yeah, I'll ask you instead next time.
Can you share that Ganesha meeting Kubera? That story. It's
Yeah, the பெரிய story. No.
எங்கேயோ நான் உங்களோட workshop?
No. I'll Srisha, I promise you I'll send you the link because it's available on YouTube. It's available on my channel. So please follow me on Instagram. Shamelessly, I'm doing this now. I'm called Ma Janaki for more stories. MAAJANAKI. No prizes for guessing why it's Ma Janaki. Okay, for some, because I come as Amma for all the heroes. And then I have a YouTube channel which is Janaki Sabesh, and in that I've taken permission from Karadi and put that Facebook Live. So please see it. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Thank you, Srisha, and all the best for your Montessori expedition.
And on behalf of RCME, I'd like to give a small memento. That is for your. We have a big fan, Srisha, and you, right? Yes, Srisha wants to give brownie, I think. She makes brownie at home. Srisha, please come and do it. Thank you. We now move on to the Secretary's announcement.
Of Rotary International this year under the Environment Service. Tomorrow we are having the project inauguration of Akaramthen Lake Restoration Project. Chief guest is Thiru Rahul Nidhi, IAS District Collector Chengalpat, and special guest Thiru S.R. Raju, MLA Tambram. Request members to join in large numbers. As our Rajesh Sundrani mentioned, we are having our Diwali fellowship on 31st October by 11 a.m. Request members to join with the family, bring aunts and annettes. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Mahesh. This is the first year we are having the environment project, and our very first project is a very large project which is restoring 193 acres lake in Agaram. Agaram is about 4 kilometers from Sholinganallur, from the Globus Hospital. The function is at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's about 45 minutes, 50 minutes drive for you. It will be good if you people can come and attend the commencement of the lake restoration. It's only a 30-minute function. Please do drop in and support the board, Nachiappan and others. So we move on to vote of thanks now. Rotarian Ramya, please come forward and deliver the vote of thanks.